when you both can't believe something and can believe it at the same time? That's what happened to me when I saw the comments from Mystics co-owner Sheila Johnson about Caitlin Clark on CNN. If you didn't see them, she essentially said, or she didn't essentially say, she said, why can't you put the whole WNBA on the cover, not Caitlin Clark?
Behind the bright lights of the WNBA court, a simmering feud emerges as Mystics owner Sheila Johnson aims at Caitlin Clark, exposing deeper fractures within the league that threaten its future. What could that be?
It has taken the WNBA almost 28 years to get to the point where we are now. And this year, something clicked with the WNBA, and it's because of the draft of the players that came in. It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much.
When Caitlin Clark clinched the prestigious Athlete of the Year award, her achievement was heralded as a monumental moment for women's sports. Yet, not everyone celebrated the victory in the same way.
And respectfully to Sheila Johnson, who is the owner of the Washington Mystics, y'all haven't been relevant in 5 years. The last time y'all were relevant was in 2019 when Elena Delle Donne was on your team and helped y'all capture your first and only championship in franchise history. You should be the first person to be congratulated.
Mystics owner Sheila Johnson, a trailblazer and vocal advocate for women's basketball, sparked a heated debate when she publicly expressed her belief that the honor could have better spotlighted the WNBA rather than singling out one individual.
It is almost 2025, and the WNBA is still complaining about Caitlin Clark. A few days ago, the Washington Mystics owner, this woman right here, went on CNN and talked about, you can't just pin the league's success on Caitlin Clark. But little did she realize, 31% of her team's total attendance for the year was the 2 games that they played Caitlin.
Her stance illuminated not just a difference of opinion, but a deeper tension surrounding the representation of women's sports in mainstream media.
So the Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson goes on CNN and says that the entire WNBA should have been put on the cover of Time magazine. It is hard to get away from this conversation because it just keeps making national news. And to be frank, I've never seen a story in the WNBA get as much widespread coverage as this is getting.
Caitlin Clark's rise to prominence has been nothing short of meteoric. Her electrifying performances on the court, coupled with her charisma and competitive fire, have captivated fans far beyond college basketball.
There's been no player in my time of paying attention to women's basketball that has been more polarizing than Caitlin Clark. She was named Time's 2024 Athlete of the Year, which I think is well deserved for what she did in the college game and then bringing it to the WNBA.
Her selection as Athlete of the Year signified a turning point, one that affirmed women's sports can hold their own on the biggest stages. However, Johnson's reaction revealed a contrasting perspective, highlighting what she perceives as a systemic issue: the persistent underrepresentation and undervaluation of collective efforts in the WNBA.
Athlete of the Year is Caitlin Clark, obviously.
Yeah,
everyone was talking about Caitlin Clark. I mean, sales for, to watch games, WNBA games, just increased and skyrocketed because of her.
That's right.
In a statement following the announcement, Johnson argued that featuring the entire WNBA on the Times front page would have been a far more impactful decision. This isn't just about Caitlin Clark. It's about elevating an entire league that has fought tirelessly to gain respect and visibility, she explained. Johnson's comments weren't an attack on Clark, but rather a call to action, urging the media to shift its focus from individual achievements to the collective progress of women's basketball. Her words struck a chord with many who shared her frustration. Despite its growth, the WNBA continues to grapple with challenges ranging from limited media coverage to disparities in pay and sponsorships compared to their male counterparts. Johnson's suggestion to feature the league as a whole was not just about recognition, but about solidarity.
It's just not Caitlin Clark. It's Reese. We have so much talent out there that has been unrecognized, and I don't think we can pin it on just one player. I want to be very diplomatic about this, Johnson continued. It's just the structure of the way media plays out race. I'm going to be very honest. I feel really bad because I've seen so many players of color that are equally as talented and they never got the recognition they should have. And I think that right now it is time for that to happen.
To her, the WNBA represents more than basketball. It's a movement, a testament to perseverance, talent, and the unrelenting fight for equality in sports. By spotlighting the league's collective journey, Johnson believes the narrative could shift, showcasing a unified front rather than isolated stars. However, not everyone agreed with Johnson's viewpoint. Some critics argued that individual accomplishments like Clark's are essential to inspiring the next generation and expanding the sport's reach. They contended that moments of individual excellence draw new fans, generate excitement, and ultimately benefit the league as a whole. For many, Caitlin Clark embodies the future of women's basketball, a symbol of what's possible in a sport that has long struggled for equal recognition.
They're human. I'm not surprised that we're seeing envy, but envy, a feeling of discontented or resentful longing aroused by someone else's possessions, qualities, or luck. With Caitlin Clark, it's not at all luck. But what we're seeing, but not generalizing, not by every WNBA player, but by some.
Nevertheless, Sheila Johnson took to a CNN interview to downplay the so-called Caitlin Clark effect. She likely didn't anticipate how her words would shine a spotlight on the very dynamic she sought to refute. Caitlin Clark, the highly touted rookie from Iowa, has become a sensation not just within basketball circles, but also in mainstream sports culture. Her dynamic playing style, long-range shooting, and undeniable charisma have made her a magnet for fans. Wherever Clark goes, the stands fill up, a reality that played out vividly when the Fever visited the Mystics. The turnout for that game wasn't coincidental. Fans flocked to see Clark in action. The undeniable buzz surrounding her presence contradicts Johnson's assertion that no single player's influence drives league engagement.
Her play, she's incredible. She's got range that you have to pick her up basically as soon as she crosses the half court line, because she's dangerous from everywhere. Like you're watching shooting against her, like Caitlin Clark's going to be in that conversation here for years. Not like that girl can flat out shoot. So
and she doesn't. And this is taking nothing away from the way women shoot a basketball, but her form looks more like a guy, where it's more of a pull up and a follow through rather than a push. And I honestly think that's one of the reasons she's so...
Similarly, Clark's ascension into a WNBA superstar carries the potential to elevate the league's profile, attracting fans who might otherwise remain indifferent. The packed arena for the Mystics Fever matchup wasn't just a fleeting anomaly. It was proof that Clark's magnetism is very real and, arguably, vital for the WNBA. This doesn't mean other players in the league lack value or talent. Far from it. The WNBA boasts a deep roster of extraordinary athletes, many of whom have dedicated years to growing the game. However, Clark's widespread appeal offers a unique opportunity to draw in casual viewers, introduce them to the league's broader talent pool, and convert them into lifelong fans. Johnson's remarks also risk alienating a new wave of supporters who are discovering the WNBA precisely because of Clark. The goal shouldn't be to diminish Clark's influence, but to leverage it as a gateway for expanding the WNBA's reach. The Mystics Fever Game's record-breaking attendance demonstrates that star power and broader league success can coexist and even amplify one another.
Well, this is Jen Hatfield, your Washington Mystics beat reporter. The Mystics had an early tip-off today for Camp Day, which is when children from local summer camps get to attend and scream their hearts out. The Mystics drew 14,400 fans today, which is a record for any WNBA team this season, according to Across the Timeline. But without injured starters Elena Deladon, Shakira Austin, and Ariel Atkins, the Mystics suffered a somewhat disappointing loss to the Indiana Fever, and head coach Eric Thibault said post-game that the team just didn't have the right focus today coming in. But Thibault and the players alike appreciated the opportunity to perform in front of kids who are in the same position that they once were growing up watching the WNBA.
For the WNBA to thrive, it must embrace the energy and excitement that players like Caitlin Clark bring to the court. Sheila Johnson's dismissal of the Clark effect might have been an attempt to promote unity within the league, but the packed stands at her team's arena tell a different story. The league's future doesn't lie in ignoring star players, but in celebrating them as catalysts for greater recognition of the incredible talent across the board. In the world of professional sports, where egos and opinions often clash, the spotlight can sometimes magnify tension. Such is the case in the ongoing debate sparked by Mystics owner Sheila Johnson's public critique of rising WNBA star Caitlin Clark. Even after Clark humbly acknowledged that the league's success was not solely her doing, emphasizing the contributions of countless other talented players, Johnson's dismissal of Clark's impact ignited a firestorm among fans and insiders alike. Many fans passionately argue that Clark's dynamic play and charisma have driven as much as 99% of the recent surge in the WNBA's popularity, crediting her with breathing new life into a league that has often struggled to capture mainstream attention. Yet, Clark herself has consistently taken a team-first approach when speaking about her role in the WNBA's growth. In interviews, she has repeatedly stressed that the league's success is a collective effort, highlighting the immense talent, hard work, and dedication of her fellow players. There are so many incredible athletes in this league who contribute every day to making the WNBA what it is, Clark stated during a recent interview.
I feel like we're just scratching the surface. Like, everybody asks me like where I think this is going to go and what it's going to be, and like I don't really have an answer, because if you would have told people this is where the WNBA is, 5 years ago, you would have said this is where we're going to be now. People probably wouldn't have believed you, because they never thought that was possible. They never thought people would buy tickets. They never thought we'd play on ABC. Never thought we'd be on ESPN. They never thought it'd be sold out arenas, or little kids wanted to wear WNBA jerseys, whatever it was. So I think it's hard to say where it's going to continue to grow. I think the smartest thing would be to get in now, because the price is only going up.
However, Sheila Johnson remains unconvinced. The Mystics owner has doubled down on her criticism of the outsized attention Clark has received, arguing that it detracts from the contributions of other players and perpetuates a narrative that unfairly elevates individual stardom over the league as a whole. The WNBA's growth has long depended on a sense of unity and shared purpose among players, owners, and fans. While stars like Clark undoubtedly play a pivotal role in bringing attention to the league, there is a fine line between celebrating individual achievements and overshadowing the collective effort. As the debate rages on, one thing is clear: Caitlin Clark's impact on the WNBA is undeniable, and her willingness to share the spotlight speaks volumes about her character. However, the league's future success will depend on its ability to navigate these tensions, finding ways to celebrate its brightest stars without losing sight of the teamwork and diversity of talent that make it unique.
Caitlin Clark, she will have a long, illustrious, decorated career where she inspires millions and millions of girls and young women to play a sport that she loves. And the thing that I do like about her, she is a whiner and she is a flopper, is that she wants everyone to play well, and she wants to inspire girls and young women to be awesome basketball players. Because
what's most striking is that Clark's popularity isn't unearned. She didn't choose to be the darling of the media or the focus of fan adoration. Her talent and hard work did that for her. By targeting her, critics risk alienating a player who has done more to bring attention to women's basketball than many of her detractors combined. The real issue here runs deeper than Clark. It's reflective of broader challenges within the WNBA and women's basketball at large. Instead of fostering a culture of collective support, the sport is mired in internal competition for validation. Players should not feel the need to tear each other down to claim their slice of the spotlight. Clark's rise should be seen as an opportunity, a catalyst for more attention, more investment, and ultimately, more opportunities for everyone in the league.
The reason that everybody watches Caitlin Clark is because she's pulling from the logo, crossing people over, and breaking numerous records as a rookie. She plays a style of basketball that's very appealing to watch. It's not slow-paced. It's genuinely must-see TV every time she steps on the court. And yes, while right now she is the most viewed player in every single state, next year Paige Beckers comes into the league. Then Juju Watkins comes into the league. But the WNBA right now is killing their product because instead of being like, hey, we have a rookie that just broke numerous records and is pulling up from the logo on a nightly basis, come see it for yourself, it's all about, it's not just because of her. And it's honestly pretty sad to see.
If the targeting continues, the WNBA risks squandering one of its brightest stars and alienating fans who admire Clark's ability to transcend the game. Instead of tearing her down, the league and its players would do well to recognize that Clark's success is not a threat, but a shared triumph. After all, the growth of the game depends on lifting up its stars, not weighing them down with unwarranted criticism. Caitlin Clark has captivated the basketball world with her jaw-dropping skills, unrelenting drive, and a knack for delivering electrifying performances. She's shattered records, drawn comparisons to the game's greats, and elevated women's basketball to new heights in the public eye. Yet, as she stands at the pinnacle of her craft, one truth becomes glaringly apparent. For some in the WNBA, even Caitlin Clark's brilliance will never be enough. Recent comments by Washington Mystics owner Sheila Johnson cast a shadow over what should be a celebration of Clark's contributions to the game and reveal a troubling pattern within the league, a persistent inability to embrace transformative players fully.
For anybody that's an athlete to do a triple, I mean, that's just,
yeah.
I mean, Michael Jordan, I suppose he called, I don't know if he called her or not, but he could have. Huh?
No, I don't know if Michael Jordan did, but I mean, Kevin Durant's been a fan of hers for a couple of years now. They talk. He sends her shoes.
Does he?
Yeah. I mean, she has had some former, NBA players that you would all recognize, send her text messages, Facebook Messenger, send her gifts and things. It's really cool.
What lies behind this reluctance? On the surface, Johnson's disapproval might seem like a matter of personal preference or a critique of Clark's playing style. For a league that's still fighting for its place in the sports world, such scrutiny can feel like a double-edged sword. Instead of uniting behind their brightest stars, stakeholders sometimes seem to undercut them, as if their success highlights the league's perceived shortcomings rather than its potential. Clark's case is emblematic of this tension. She's a player who could single-handedly redefine what's possible for the WNBA, yet she's met with resistance from within. Johnson's comments signal a reluctance to fully embrace the kind of star power that players like Clark bring to the table. It's as if there's a fear that such individual brilliance might overshadow the collective narrative the league has worked so hard to build. But the reality is this: the WNBA needs players like Caitlin Clark.
And there's no crying in baseball or basketball. Hard feelings are a part of competition. They're a part of sports. They're ingrained into the system. I think this conversation is getting pretty tired though, and I honestly just can't wait until the season starts again to talk about basketball.
For Caitlin Clark, the message is clear. No matter how much she achieves, it might never satisfy everyone in the WNBA. But perhaps that's precisely why she's so important. Clark's relentless pursuit of greatness challenges the league to rise to the occasion, to fully embrace its stars, and to recognize that its future depends on celebrating its talent rather than stifling it. If the WNBA is to thrive, it must learn to value its trailblazers, even when their light shines brighter than some might prefer. Do you think the WNBA will ever embrace the hard work of Caitlin Clark? Let us know in the comments section below. If you enjoyed, leave a like and subscribe. More videos are on screen now.